All right, chat. Today we have another hoop venue video. Now, if you guys remember, this guy is the one with like some of the basketball reaction or stuff that we react to. So we're gonna react to one of his videos. I've just tried to load this Jared McCain one for like 10 minutes and it just didn't load. So let's try again.
We are less than a month away from NBA playoff basketball. Jason Tatum's back. Luka and the Lakers are heating up. The Spurs look unstoppable, and it's still
right before recording this. I went downstairs and I just didn't pause. But Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were playing really good. I think they just won by 20.
Defending champs quietly found a new edge, not by adding another elite defender or developing young talent internally, but by adding a new weapon to their offense, Jared McCain. What is it?
I still don't understand why did Daryl Morey why did he make this trade? Or like why did he I don't get it. I just don't get it, because it's like you trade somebody that isn't good. You don't trade somebody in their sophomore season coming back from an injury that's playing better. Like you just don't do that. That's just not smart.
It worked though. What can we actually draw from this recent stretch? And more importantly, will it hold up in the playoffs? Everything for McCain starts with his outside shot. At the exact
he's a good
moment
shooter.
he entered the league, he was already one of the more dynamic three-point shooters in the game. Whether he's working off of screens, running in transition, pulling up off the dribble, or from extended range, he's capable of torching defenses with a wide variety of
people know him
different
for his
types of
shot.
long-range
That's kind of what he's known for.
But it's pretty obvious that he's at his best working without the ball. Over these past 2 years, he's hit almost 44% of his
that's nice.
threes, putting him in the 95th percentile among all players.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Even more impressive is the volume, though, especially since joining the Thunder. Through his first 21 games in
10 3-points attempted per 75 possessions. So that's 11th. Okay.
OKC, he's attempted about 10 threes every 75 possessions he's on the court, which keeps him just outside of the top 10. What makes this so impressive is that he's not self-creating a ton of these opportunities with his handle. It takes a very specific set of skills to get this many threes up while primarily playing without the ball. And
I think I immediately think of like Klay Thompson.
For McCain, it's the result of two defining traits. Firstly, he's got an extremely quick release. Not only does he require very little dip, he's quick to get the ball from wherever he catches it into his shooting pocket in
very important.
One
you don't understand
motion,
unless they actually play basketball in real life. Like, you need to have a fast release. Like, a lot of people, they have like this slow release when they're practicing, but then when you actually get in the game, you have to speed your release up because you're gonna just get blocked. You're gonna get contested. You just gotta
sort of break the rules of help defense. Ron Holland never actually leaves him, but he gets flat-footed for just a brief moment, and that's the difference between an effective.
And this is what happens in 2K now. I'm glad they added I'm not talking about 2K on this channel a lot, but one thing I will say is that I'm glad they added the no dip feature. The issue I have with the no dip feature is that, and this is something I should put on my actual channel. It's in the bio of every video, but I just don't understand why there's a different timing, contest timing for tempo shooting when that's something I could rant about. It's April. 2K's been out since September. It's been a rant all year, but it applies and it puts a different perspective when you look at these real life clips, because you really do see some players that shoot well because they actually no dip. Obviously, it's real life. You're gonna shoot with no dip if somebody's running towards you.
And I can't emphasize enough just how fast this entire sequence happened. The amount of time that transpired between McCain catching the ball and releasing it was 6
Like, there's basically no dip because he knows he has to get the shot off fast.
That means if his man leaves him to help on the ball, there's basically no chance of recovery. This time he actually moves into the shot, and once again it takes about 6
he should do
seconds
Dennis open too.
Release a perfect make. Speaking of which, the second key trait that helps him get
that's a good pass
at a near league best rate is the way he moves without the ball. And that starts with his ability to gather his
underrated,
momentum and get into his shot while moving. It doesn't matter which direction he's running in or facing when he catches the ball.
Clips.
He can get perfectly squared and into his shot.
Wrong keyboard. That's why I didn't pause. Man, bro, why is he not on the Sixers, bro? Like, I remember when he got traded, so many of my friends that are Sixers fans were like mad because it's just like it didn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Less than a second. His footwork is incredible. After getting this handoff, he's got 1 foot on the ground and his chest is facing the top of the key. Now look at how elongated that first step with his right
So
foot is.
insane.
That's so he can get every motion on one time. He's simultaneously turning his body to face the basket
Julius
and
Randle
kicking his
know about
legs
that,
so that at
dude.
the exact moment his left foot comes back down, he's ready to pull the trigger. A tactic you'll often see him use is this little jump stop. He's moving to his right while receiving a pass, and with a quick hop, he can get both feet set
Setting his feet.
instantly as
Yep.
opposed to needing an extra step or two. This
Yep.
time he's moving to his left, and again, notice how he
It's the
jumps
small things
into
right
the
here.
pass while catching it, which helps him get into his release just a touch quicker. When it all comes together, you end up with sequences like this. He gets a handoff going to his right, uses
And
that
it's just like-
elongated 1-2 step to square and
And
dip,
they have
only
to
to
contest
up fake
him.
before side
Pause. Goodness. That was our keyboard. And he has so many options here because everybody like knows he has the
back
shot
to his
off
left,
of it.
and that's what a
he still
world-class
gets open.
shooting talent looks like. Earlier, I said that McCain doesn't self-create a ton of these opportunities with his handle. That's an important distinction to make because he does create a lot of opportunities for himself with his movement. All of
Yep.
the jumpers I just showed of him gathering his momentum while on the move started with a setup. And one could make a compelling argument that outside shooting isn't McCain's superpower, but rather the way he moves to make himself a target. It's clear that he has a
Yeah.
high understanding of spacing. Even if it's a subtle relocation, he
'Cause
knows
Curry-
when to start
Curry's
moving,
known for it
where to
too.
go, and that's a
lot of
testament to
players
his
are.
feel for the game. On a play
A lot of
like
good
this where
shooters
Wiggins
are.
drives to the same side of the floor that he and Kenrich Williams already occupy, he instinctively starts to float up top. But as soon as he sees his man start to close to the corner, that's his cue to book it
To
for that
keep
open
going.
space,
Yep.
and that's way too long of a closeout to recover. Something that really stands out is that he sees plays before they happen. When Chet collapses the paint, Hartenstein's left by himself near the wing. And while he isn't a threat to catch and shoot, he is a threat to catch and hand the ball off without a second defender in position to help. And if we go back a few seconds, you'll notice that McCain saw it the entire time. He points at Ihart
Yep.
and starts running towards him to make
Yep.
the action just a little bit quicker before knocking down a triple on the move.
That's a nice
Speed
play.
is a huge part of McCain's attack. When he starts with the ball in his hands and nothing materializes, he's quick to get off it and start moving, often following his own pass for some
And then it's
deeper
just like he's wide open, like where he was like clamped, headed for Rudy in the paint. You know what I mean?
action. Sometimes when he starts moving, he just never stops, leading to these Steph Curry-esque possessions where he'll keep his dribble live in the paint, kick it out, and immediately relocate to the perimeter to get
And
it
he's
back
open.
for a high-quality
Man,
lead. Much
these-
like
these
Steph,
are good
McCain's
clips.
skill set as an off-ball shooter is maximized when he's running around a
It's
series
like
of
somebody needs to show Daryl Morey this video when they're like, "Why did you do that?"
screens. And that starts with the way he sets up defenders. On this one, they're looking to get him the ball with a handoff, but Asar top locks him. So by faking a backdoor cut, he's able to create just enough
Ooh.
separation to comfortably get around the screen, take a
And get
dribble,
open.
and step into a jumper. Here's a real similar play where he's on his way to a handoff, threatens a cut, then gets the ball, only to get inside the arc and patiently work his way to the rim. On this one, it looks like they're setting up a couple cross screens for Shea, and McCain
Okay.
really sells it. But that's actually a decoy for Caruso to set a cross screen for him, and after an up fake, he's left with a ton of space.
Good lay.
It's really important that he's not one-dimensional out of these actions. While he's looking for the three-pointer, he isn't limited to it. Because he's such a good shooter, his defender has to chase him over the top, but
Yeah.
if he gets run off the line, he's still a threat to create. So he's constantly
Yep.
reading each situation in real time. On this one, the Big's first instinct
This is why
is
he's
to
so
drop back,
good on
even
the
though he
on.
tries to
I almost
recover,
said the Sixers
McCain's
on the
He's
Thunder.
already taken advantage of the space. But on a play like this, where he curls around a screen and his defender does a good job of staying attached to his hip, he'll instead take a dribble towards the basket
Ooh,
and
good
pull
shot.
up for a midi. Needless to say, he's great at reading defenses in these spots. Here they go to that give and go, and Jokic drops way back, so McCain looks for the jumper, but Murray leaves
Murray
his man
picks
on the
up.
wing to contest. The
So-
counter is instant. An extra dribble around Murray going
Yep.
left, which leaves him with a wide open lane to the paint. On the inverse, you'll see plays like this where McCain gets a handoff and immediately goes to a hang dribble while he reads the situation. Then as
Ooh.
soon as he sees that Ant's gonna park at the nail while Gobert drops back, he steps into a jumper, which of course drops. When I said that speed was a big part of his game, I didn't just mean playing fast. McCain
Okay.
can play at multiple speeds, which is especially prominent in off-screen situations where it looks like that second defender might commit. He
Yeah.
could get off the ball right here, or he could hesitate and take an extra dribble to see if Portis is going to stay attached. When he doesn't,
Portis-
that creates a lane
yep.
to attack the rim himself. The way he uses pace is a great way to compensate for some physical disadvantages. He's not explosive or long, but by starting and stopping at the right time, he can hit those pressure points and create for himself or his teammate.
Others. Yeah,
that's diversified OKC's offense quite a bit, because it means he's not only an off-ball shooter, he's someone they can legitimately go to as a source of half-court offense when Shea's not out there. And during those bench minutes, they really like to run things through.
Man, it just doesn't make it makes perfect sense for OKC. He's a great addition. Doesn't make sense for Daryl Morey to give him away.
Either iHeart or J. Will in the middle of the floor. Naturally, that means lots of two-man game, which means lots of McCain. The fit just makes so much sense. The only thing better than McCain's fit with OKC might just be his fits in the tunnel. And if you want to upgrade your outfit game...
hey, segue, but we skipping this.
Between the way McCain relocates without the ball, sees plays before they happen, and reads situations while on the move, it's clear that he processes the floor very quickly. That helps him add value even when he's not an offensive focal point. In spot-up situations, he's always quick to react to closeouts and has a wide array of counters at his disposal. For starters, he's a good ball.
Good mid-range
The
game
threat of his
too.
outside shot draws a closeout from two different defenders, and it's an instant swing pass to Isaiah Joe for a warm-up corner triple. He's also good at attacking a defender's momentum. And what I mean by that is on a play like this where he's one pass away from the ball and Wallace beats his defender, he knows the Pistons are going to peel switch. The first thing I want you to note is that subtle relocation, getting a few steps deeper in the corner to make it a longer closeout. Now LeVert has to commit all of his momentum in order to get there in time, only for
and
McCain to
he
counter
can just
by getting
move
right back to where he started for a quality look from three. Here's a similar play from earlier in the game. With Duran up at the level of a screen and Cade coming way over to tag, they're gonna X out, meaning it's Asar who closes from the wing to the corner. But he gets there in time and gathers his momentum.
Does
Still,
he get over?
McCain finds an angle to attack the middle of the floor, and just when it looks like he's closed off, he spins into a short fall-away jumper. Because he's so effective at playing after the catch, there's really no shortage of ways that the Thunder can utilize his skill set. Here's a play that starts with him setting a ball screen in the middle of the floor. He ghosts the screen, prompting a switch, only to immediately set up an empty side pick and roll where he pulls up from multiple feet behind the line. And it feels like there's lots of untapped potential with using him as a ball screener, particularly for Shea. Just think about the bind this puts Dallas in. Do you switch your small guard onto the
or do you
ball?
follow?
Do you trap? Or do you try a hedge and recover, which allows McCain to catch and go against a closing defender and get to a mid-range jumper? That mid-range game is often what he's looking to get to out of drives. He's not his MVP caliber teammate, but he's got the skill set. I already talked about his use of pace and impeccable timing. That helps him get defenders off balance near the painted area. He's also got a sturdy core and strong lower body, so bump middies are a pretty big part of his arsenal. Don't get me wrong, it's not nearly as prominent as the three-point shooting. However, these mid-range pull-ups serve as a really nice counter for when he gets run off the line or chased off of screens, and he's had it going.
Because you have to respect him at all levels.
Since joining OKC, he's attempted about 5 of these every 75
every 75
possessions, and he's hit 50% of them. If that's something he can sustain over a larger sample, especially throughout the playoffs, that takes me back to what I said about diversifying the offense. When needed, he can be a third or fourth ball handler for the offense, whether that means curling off of screens, initiating a pick and roll, or screening himself to catch the ball with an advantage. But you'll basically never see him over dribble. If the initial action doesn't create a window to attack, he'll immediately get rid of it and keep moving. And it can't be overstated just how much that means for OKC spacing, as well as their ability to pressure different types of defenses. This season, the Thunder went 1-4 against the Spurs, who they're currently battling for home court advantage out west. Those 4 losses were in large part due to their inability to break down San Antonio's suffocating defense. With an average offensive rating
with
of
somebody like
118.5,
McCain,
OKC's
it will
had
help.
the 7th best offense in basketball. In 5 games against the Spurs, under 112, which would be equivalent to number 25. San Antonio's success against this Thunder offense has come down to one simple concept. Keep Wemby on the baseline. It doesn't matter who they put in the corner, what type of action they run, or how they try to pull him out. They're gonna pre-switch everything and keep Wemby as the low man so that he can take away the rim from everyone. Essentially, they're turning the game into a favorable math equation. If you take the paint out of the game, OKC's options are often limited.
There's a lot of
to a
OKC's
tough
players,
jumper.
they can shoot threes, but like they're also known for driving. So when you're playing a team with Wemby, it's difficult. But when you have somebody like McCain, it helps.
Or a 3-point shot from a not-so-reliable shooter. The first time these teams matched up, Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, and Alex Caruso shot a combined 3 of 14 from 3. The second time around, Dort got hot, but Wallace and Caruso stayed cold, a combined 0 of 6. On Christmas, it was all Caruso. They dared him to shoot the ball every time, and he ended up taking 12 threes. He only made 2 of them, while Dort and Wallace combined for a measly 3 of 11 themselves. Then in January, when OKC finally got the better of them, Dort didn't play, while Wallace and Caruso shot a much better 4 of 7. They also played noticeably less minutes though, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. There are ways to get Wemby away from the baseline, whether that's with movement, screening, or different floor alignments. But they've made it clear that regardless of where he's at on the court, he's gonna prioritize the basket, and they're comfortable making OKC's best defensive players shoot a lot of threes. That's where Jared McCain comes in. He's too effective to not guard in these spots, and the quick trigger on his release means he requires constant attention.
Clip of him
the
playing
same goes for
VJ.
Isaiah Joe. And if they stack the floor with shooters, all of a sudden it becomes a lot harder to keep Wemby in the paint, which means it's a lot harder to keep him in Shea's driving lanes, and everything sort of starts to open up from there. OKC hasn't had nearly as much trouble with Denver, but similarly they've shown aggressive playoff type covers that forces role players to either catch and shoot or make decisions against a rotating defense. What they like to do is send everyone to the middle in a zone-esque look to plug all of Shea's driving gaps and force passes to go deep on the wing. McCain sort of breaks the coverage because these defenders can't get back to him in time after helping on the ball. That forces them to rotate a lot more behind the play, which could either create mismatches or long closeouts from their bigs, which is when OKC is able to completely break them down.
I love how he gets like
whether or not it's worth it to leave McCain out there because of what that means for the other side of the ball. In these
and they're
matchups,
from this
specifically,
season
we're
too.
talking about teams with big physical shot creators. And OKC's biggest superpower is the fact that they can put out some of the best defensive units we've ever seen. Not only do they have a sound individual matchup to throw at every type of creator, they completely take away the rim, their rotations are sublime, and they force turnovers at an unbelievable rate. What does that look like when McCain's being brought into every action? Do they trust him to switch onto a Stephon Castle or a De'Aaron Fox? Can he consistently execute a hedge and recover, or use his hands to make plays on the ball? And more importantly, what do these things look like when he and Isaiah Joe are on the court at the same time? These are the questions that Mark Dagnall and his staff are gonna have to find an answer to over the next month, because it really is a double-edged sword. With McCain on the court, they're clearly a much better team offensively.
They're a better offensive team, but the way OKC has been, they have Lou Dort, they have Joe, they have these like really good defensive players. So you're taking one of those out to put McCain in, and he's not like known for defense.
His off-ball play opens up everything, and his ability to handle the ball in spurts brings a bit of diversity. But even at his best, he's multiple steps down defensively from an Alex Caruso, a Cason Wallace, or a Lou Dort. So how much does it actually mean in the grand scheme of playoff basketball? In my opinion, it actually could end up being a pretty big needle mover. And the reason I say that is because it creates optionality. For the cost of 1 first-round pick and 3 seconds, the defending champions addressed a potential need by bringing in a very good offensive player. He'll surely make a difference during the non-Shea minutes, and he'll be a back pocket option throughout the course of tight playoff games.
The thing is, it's the non-Shea minutes that matter.
The dynamic. He's got big game potential, and more than anything, he creates questions that the opposing defense has to address. So whether he's playing 10, 15, or 20 minutes, Jared McCain could play a critical role in bringing a second ring to Oklahoma City.
Good video, Hoop. Good video. We already noticed though. Yeah, very good video. Daryl Morey, you're an idiot. W video though. Make sure you guys follow the Twitch StoryofMike with 2 eyes. We're really close to 700 followers on there, so help me hit that goal. It's April 1st. Follow the YouTube and the TikTok and the Instagram. I'm plugging everything. Just go follow it all. It's all in the description. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.